We are coming to you live for right now as we record this.
We are recording it live in person for us.
Yes, there we go. In Montauk.
Yeah, woo!
Woo! There's a lighthouse, you know Long Island. It's the very end.
Long Island, like the railroad. Wait, why are you making that surprised face?
I'm Monopoly? What's the name of the railroads in Monopoly?
They're named after like old train companies. So there was the
Okay.
Pennsylvania Train Company, B&O, which stood for Baltimore and Ohio, I think.
I got excited. I thought Long Island Railroad was part of Monopoly.
Short Line, that was one of the other one. I forgot what the fourth railroad was.
I don't know.
That's okay. Monopoly's a terrible game.
Yeah, no, it kind of is. So yeah, we're in Montauk at a very fancy resort.
Way too fancy.
Way too fancy for us. I won it in a contest.
Yeah, and somebody on the internet got mad at you about it.
Yeah, they actually followed me on Instagram and they had DM'd me as well, like trying to get me to give them the answers for the contest.
Beforehand? I didn't know about that.
It was like earlier on because I had figured out all the things and he hadn't. So I blocked him because I was like, you follow me and you're also really pissed off about not winning. So I'm just gonna not risk it.
Hopefully they're not listening.
I highly doubt they are.
How upset would they be if they were listening to our podcast right now and be like, "Oh, we're in Montauk," and they think that they should have won, so they're like, "I should be there." Shakes fist in the air. Dingleberg.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah, I'm thankful that there is a local bus around here because
it comes sometimes.
But, what can you expect from, the fact that they have public transit in such a remote area at all is kind of nice. I mean, I guess it's not that remote. It's like a tourist destination, but
it's still like a really small area.
Yeah, so Montauk, it's not a town. It's not a city. It is a village.
Wait, really? Oh.
Yeah, it's the Village of Montauk.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we went to Montauk Village.
Yeah, that was the name of the bus stop that we rode to on the local bus.
Yep, it was a 8-minute drive into town.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
And an hour walk.
It's so, I don't understand how that works because, I don't know, it feels like the same amount of distance in New York is just shorter.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but that's just how it feels.
Yeah.
Because we'll walk 20 minutes. Like, I'll walk you to work sometimes, and we'll walk, and it'll take 20 minutes.
To go a mile.
Yeah, and then I will walk home after dropping you off at work, and it is 20 minutes again. But it doesn't feel like I had to walk through the middle of nowhere to get into town. Like, it's just a different feeling.
Yeah, because we are in the middle of nowhere.
Currently. Not in New York City.
Not in New York City, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we definitely kind of feel like we don't belong here. The gift shop, it's not really a gift shop, it's like a boutique.
It is a boutique, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's like $300+.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
The food here are like small plate foods and
it's still way too expensive.
It's like $40 or like $30 for an entree.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think I was the first person at this, in the history of this hotel to ask how the local bus transit network works.
Nobody knew. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
because we asked the front desk, they had no idea. We asked the person who worked at the boutique, no idea. We even asked somebody in town, and they still didn't know.
Are you talking about the lady who worked at the visitor center?
No, I'm talking about the lady at that store where I bought Christmas gift.
Yeah. No, she wasn't totally, because she lives somewhere else and she drives here.
Everybody drives.
Yeah, no, we're kind of in the minority.
We had to like try and figure out the app and everything. And
it wasn't that bad. It was just a little bit confusing.
There's no real time tracking. We were out by the bus stop tonight for like 20 minutes in the freezing cold. We've been waiting for a bus that never came.
Lauren, we've just been spoiled by transit in New York, where we can know exactly the exact location of any bus in the city at any given time.
I just miss my car.
I don't miss driving that much.
Well,
honestly.
Good for you.
What? Okay, no, look, because here's my thing. Like, I don't like being stuck in traffic. Like, I don't like.
I know.
Like, I had to drive to get to work, and that just sucked. And I do not miss that. So I guess I just don't fully understand your perspective.
I mean, I think I just enjoy the time I have in my car, listening to music, getting lost in my thoughts, appreciating the beauty of that one bridge in DC when I was driving to work and the sun was rising and it was glistening off the water and then hitting the metal parts of the bridge. And then it was absolutely beautiful. And then Daddy Lincoln staring down at me
from across the bridge.
He doesn't freak me out, though. Something I have noticed the past couple of years is I have a fear of large people statues.
I'd say it's more of a phobia.
Yeah. So I always kind of there was this image in my art history class I took in high school, and it was an image of a guy scuba diving next to this giant head, and he's hardly he's like a little dot in the eye, and that freaks me out.
I want to know where that statue sank.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's just so scary. And then this phobia was really I figured out I had it when we went to Mount Rushmore.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, okay. So while we're doing this cross-country road trip, right, we have some destinations. We want to go to Mount Rushmore. We find this free campsite.
This is back in 2019.
Yeah.
The summer.
Yeah, like when we first started dating. So we find this free campsite on, I think the website is called freecampsites.org. It's right next to not the Washington Monument, Mount Rushmore. And there's lots of people there. It's a popular campsite. And it's just a place where people hang out. They have campers or vans.
It was beautiful.
Tents.
There was this little plateau of rock, and it was just we laid on it and looked up at the stars.
You can see the stars, and the night sky is bluish, and then you can see the silhouettes of the pine trees against the sky, because the pine trees are kind of a black silhouette, and then the sky is just slightly less black. It's just a little bit bluish.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So while driving to that place,
it's directly behind the statues.
And
it's part of that mountain, I think.
It's on the other side of it,
yeah.
I think. So I guess the only way to get to this place is to drive
really close
past Mount Rushmore. And as you're driving up that way, you can see the statues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool because you just come up over the hill and you see the statues, and it's super inspiring to see.
Inspiring.
Oh my God, wow, America. I'm so proud.
But something you don't expect is there to be no lights on the road.
Well, no. You expect there to be no lights on the road in the middle of the night.
But you don't expect the only lights to be underneath the faces of the Mount Rushmore peeps fan club.
Yes. Yes. So you are driving through the middle of nowhere, and then it just pops in. The mountains just lit up all white. The only bright thing in the sky. And so you're driving and you can't see anything except whatever your headlights show
Daddy
on the
Washington.
road. And Daddy Washington, the floating disembodied head of Daddy Washington standing out in the middle of the sky, shining a flashlight under his chin to tell you a scary ghost story.
And then this whole time we have to drive directly past it. So we're now looking up at his face.
Yeah.
Because we're that close.
I was driving and
you were freaked out.
I was freaked out. I basically kept my eyes just on the road the whole time after we saw it, and I was like, I'm freaked out.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I did not like it.
Yeah, so then I just kept my eyes on the road and tried my very, very best to ignore the fact that I could just kind of see it out of the corner of my eye. Like I couldn't see I could just see it enough to know that it was there.
The details made it worse.
Well, because I already knew what it looked like, you know?
Yeah. It's so creepy. And then I was like, oh, Statue of Liberty, now that we live in New York. And we visited with my family when they came to visit. And, I didn't think it was going to freak me out. And it didn't freak me out as much. But, the longer you look at it in pictures.
I mean, I don't know that, but it sounds like you do.
It's the pictures of the people in the crown. And they're little dots.
Oh, yeah.
It just shows how large it is.
It's like your scuba diver with the giant Colossus statue or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So that was scary. And then we were watching the newest season of The Amazing Race, and there was this giant statue.
Oh, the giant Buddha statue in
my gosh.
Thailand, I think.
It was so scary. It was so scary. It was the size of a building. And it was just so
But it's such a pretty place to visit.
It is. But then you look at it, and humans aren't supposed to be that big. It's very large, very scary.
I understand that that's how you've experienced the world.
Okay. Also, to be fair, there was this ride in Busch Gardens when I grew up. It was called Escape from Pompeii.
Busch Gardens is an amusement park in Virginia.
Yes. They also have other locations, but the one I went to is in Virginia, Williamsburg.
Okay.
And in the ride, it's essentially everything's on fire. So you go in it and it's a water ride. So everything's on fire and there's this one part where a statue falls on top of you, and it's obviously doesn't hit you. It gets stuck on something. But I had been riding that since I was a kid, and that was always so scary to me. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Was this a virtual reality roller coaster kind of thing?
No.
Have you ever ridden a virtual reality roller coaster?
Yes, it was also scary.
Was it also at Busch Gardens or what was
it? Yes, it was also at Busch Gardens.
Gotcha. The only VR roller coaster I've ever ridden, I went up to I think it's called Six Flags New England. It's in Massachusetts. And yeah, so they have this that whole amusement park is superhero themed. I'm not sure if all Six Flags are like that. I'm not super well versed.
Super.
I'm not very well versed in amusement parks, but there was a Superman virtual reality roller coaster. And it was kind of like when VR was still a little bit new. And this was the kind of thing where they have the headset, and it's just like a pair of goggles that they just stick a phone inside of, and you're just looking at the phone screen that's playing a video.
Okay.
And that's how the VR works. So we are climbing up the roller coaster, and it's the part of the roller coaster where you go tick, 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 up the giant hill until it goes to the part where it goes down the whole way. And the concept is you're in the VR, and it's oh, I'm riding the monorail in the city. And then you get to the top, and Lex Luthor destroys the monorail, and then you're falling. But then, oh no, Superman picks you up. Oh, wow. He's flying me around the city. It's so, wow, he's flying, and there's lasers everywhere. And then the phone in my headset overheated. And because it was the middle of summer, and the phones probably were running all day, and it just got too hot. And so then the whole roller coaster, I was just looking at a black screen with white text that said, the phone's too hot. It's too hot. You got to cool it down, man. So I'm effectively riding a roller coaster while blindfolded. is what my experience of that was.
You're like, this is lame.
Yeah, and then everybody else in the group was just like, oh wow, he like shot lasers at and like boosted us up into the air, like threw us around and things like that.
You're like, oh, he did?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, how did you like the part where we went into outer space? And I'm like, yeah.
I love that.
The thing is, like, that's a better story than if I had just been on a VR roller coaster.
Yeah.
I don't wish that I had experienced it a different way, because then I get that story instead of just being like, oh, I went on a VR roller coaster. It was cool. It was VR. It was like 2016 or something, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, wow, cool. It's like a way better story. It's like, oh, I rode the roller coaster and then the phone overheated and I was looking at an error message the whole way.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, back to Montauk.
Yes.
Let's talk more about what it has been like.
Yeah, so we talked about riding the bus. That was good.
Okay. So we get here. We get in our room, which is really a suite and it's gigantic.
It's about the size of our apartment.
It's bigger than our apartment by at least 100 square feet.
It's probably because of the shower. The shower is bigger.
Yeah, probably, actually. So we brought like snacks and oranges and wine and everything because like we knew it would be expensive coming here and we wanted to minimize as much money that we would need to spend.
Yeah. So there's the mini bar that comes with the room, and there's the little fridge that has stuff in it. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to put our stuff in that fridge.
But it doesn't fit because it's filled with drinks.
It's filled with stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, let's take the stuff out and put our wine bottle in. And then
they don't fit.
They don't fit because the shelves are too short. It's like the wine bottle is too tall to fit in the fridge.
So you're like, oh, well, maybe I can just like take everything out of this and move the shelves. Nope.
Yeah. So then basically we end up calling. You want to not make yourself part of it?
I wasn't part of it.
Okay, cool. So I called them and said...
I said we should just get ice.
To put in the ice bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the wine will be cold tonight, and...
we can get more ice tomorrow.
And just continually fill up an ice bucket like peasants.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know where the ice machine is here.
Neither do I.
I think we probably have to ask somebody to bring it to us.
Honestly, wouldn't be the weirdest ask.
Yeah, so speaking of the weirdest ask, so I asked them, hey, are you able to send up some people to help us reconfigure the fridge? They end up not being able to take the shelves out either, because even though they were able to take the fridge out of its setting to open the door all the way to try and not block the shelves from being taken out, these guys can't take out the shelves, right? Just the way that the fridge is, it just won't let you take it out, no matter what you do. So then they're like, okay, that's not going to work. Do you just want another fridge? And I'm like a different one? And they're like, no, like an additional fridge. We'll just bring another fridge here.
And I'm in the bedroom during all of this.
Yeah, you're unpacking my suitcase.
And all I hear are things falling.
That was the sound of them trying to take the shelves out.
Yeah. No. I think it was them trying to take out the fridge.
They removed the fridge from its little nook, and then they put it back. And then while the guy was putting it back, all the stuff fell out of the fridge because it was tilted forward.
Yeah. It just sounded like I was worried when I would come in here, there would be like these bottles of expensive drinks just smashed on the ground.
Yeah, that's why I called them and asked them to do it instead of trying to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because then if it broke.
Yeah, so they asked if they said they can just bring us a fridge. And they come in with this giant ass like fridge freezer combo.
It's like...
not giant. It's giant for a mini fridge.
Yeah, it's larger than I would expect for a mini fridge. Like it's bigger than if you get like a normal hotel room, like a Best Western or something like that. It's
like twice that.
It feels like it's not twice that. It's like maybe 25% larger.
Okay.
But it feels bigger. It's like maybe Lauren is 5'5". It's like waist height on her. So if you're listening and you know who Lauren is and you know what she looks like, then that's a helpful descriptor. So you're welcome.
What are some other weird asks we've had? You asked for a peanut butter knife.
I asked for a peanut butter knife so I could spread peanut butter on my bagel.
And these are all things Dylan wanted. He asked for silverware and plates.
Yeah, for the Uber Eats food that we ordered for tonight. They never brought it.
I know. They called the hotel, though. Like, they called the room.
That's when I was going to pick up the food, and the Uber Eats driver went to the lobby to try and get us, I guess.
I said in the note, we'll meet you in the parking lot.
Maybe he tried to call or text us, and he couldn't because the cell reception is ass out here.
It really is.
And you can't call anybody, basically.
Yeah.
You have to just be connected to the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah. What are some other weird asks we had? The bus, like figuring out the bus routes.
And then when the lady in the boutique, when she said, "Oh, the hotel, they run a shuttle service to go into town," and I was like, "I thought they only ran that in the summer." And she's like, "Oh no, yeah, no, if you ask them, they'll just take you." And then she was like, "If not, you can just borrow my car." And
she didn't say borrow. She said you could just take my car.
Yeah, no, we can just take her car.
She's like, "Oh, there's a lot of dog hair in it."
Yeah, no, there's a lot of dog hair in it. It's like a silver Mercedes kind of thing.
And like she looks serious. Like when she was saying that, like she looked serious and I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I'm like, is she actually offering us her car?
Yeah, so like here's my thought is that I think she was, but because we're not used to being in this kind of place or talking with those kind of people, I truly have no idea if she was doing it as a bit or if she was honestly being like, you can just take my car.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is something we'll never know.
No, probably not.
But yeah, so we have found ways to get free things on this trip.
Yeah, I got like a couple free pens, free
newspapers.
Yeah. The visitor center in town, not part of the hotel, but they had like a bunch of magazines. And so you took a magazine from there.
Yeah, I did.
They had a guide for the bus that we took.
Yeah. The like people who stay here, guests, they get like a free fitness center, like the free pool. We didn't play pool.
Oh no, we didn't play pool. We could go after this.
We can see if the cops are still there.
Cops?
Yeah, there was a cop banquet or something.
Oh, I didn't know that's what that was.
Yeah. One of the guys was like, if you want to like do something illegal, tonight's the night. Because all the cops are going to be here.
Interesting. I didn't know that's what he was saying.
There's a free bathhouse for 55 minutes for residents.
By residents, you mean guests?
Yes, that's what I mean. And neither of us knew what to expect. We did this earlier tonight. And it was just so interesting. Right?
Yeah.
It was weird. I wasn't expecting it. They had like a bunch of different pools of different temperatures.
Yeah. No, there's like they have the cold one, and then they have the even colder one. And they have the hot tub and the hot tub and the steam room and the sauna. And they have a bunch of lounge chairs where somebody left their book that they weren't reading.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They were reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Or at least they had the book. I don't know if they were actually reading it.
That's fair. So Dylan decided to just say, oh, the hot tub and the hot tub and the cold tub. But it was 50 degrees water.
Which is cold.
And the second one was 57 degrees.
Which is also cold.
And then the other one was it 97?
It was like 94 or something like that. Degrees Fahrenheit.
That was definitely the more like normal.
If you've ever been in a hot tub before, that's the temperature that it was.
Okay. And then there was one for like 104 degrees.
Yeah, that was slightly hotter. So if you've ever been in a hot tub and turned up the heat, that's how hot it was.
Okay, but like the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to alternate between the hot tubs and the cold.
Yeah, which is what we did. And it was really nice.
It was really nice. But it made it just so much more intense.
The cold or the hot?
Both. Going from hot to cold and cold to hot. It was just really intense, like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we went in the steam room, and it was like when your glasses fog up, but it was with your eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It was so steamy that our eyeballs fogged up. Yeah.
I mean, I find it interesting.
It is interesting.
I haven't done anything like that before.
No, I never have. It made me be like, oh man, I wish Russia wasn't so politically charged so I could go to a Russian bathhouse in Russia.
Still sounds terrifying.
What, going to a Russian bathhouse?
Yeah. I just imagine a bunch of naked old men.
I mean, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, neither do I.
So, yeah. I wish all the places I wanted to go on vacation weren't so politically charged.
Yeah.
Like, I do want, like, legitimately want to go on vacation in Russia sometime because I have just heard amazing things and I heard it's really nice. And I want to ride the Trans-Siberian Railroad one time because that seems fun. I really want to go to Iran because I want to see all the history in Iran. Like you have the stuff from the Persian Empire, but then you also have from more recent history, you have all the Islamic architecture and stuff like that. So yeah, where else do I want to go that's politically charged? I want to go to Palestine.
North Korea.
I don't want to go to North Korea. That's where I draw the line.
When we were like talking to these people on the West Virginia trip we went on a few years ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they were like judging Dylan for like growing up in Saudi, like going to high school in Saudi, right?
Yeah.
But then they were also talking about how they want to go to North Korea.
Wait, those people weren't saying they wanted to go to North Korea, were they?
I thought they were.
Maybe.
I think they were saying like there's a place they really want to go.
Is North Korea?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the same guy, apparently, who, while we were all having breakfast with the other people in our group, I just mentioned growing up in Saudi Arabia, and he was like, I can't believe that you would support a place like that. Like,
you were 15.
I was 15. I just
didn't have a choice.
I just lived there.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing political about it. It's just where I went to school, you know?
And he's like talking about like women's rights and everything, which is fair.
Yeah. But then his wife was like, I mean, I was like, I don't know. He seemed to have more of an opinion about it than she did.
Yeah.
But that might be just because that she just felt really awkward. Like he was making a ruckus.
Because he was.
And then the other couple that was at that table that was like closer to our age, but a little bit older. And yeah, no, everybody was just silent as this guy was berating me for having lived in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I could have sworn they were like, oh, we just can't wait for North Korea to open up or something like that.
I don't remember that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. This was a couple who...
I think they were lawyers.
I think this
couple... They have no kids.
Yeah, this couple was... I think they were recently retired and, like you said, had no kids. And so they probably retired pretty early. Like they were probably in their mid to late 50s, maybe. Like not old enough that they would be collecting Social Security yet.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because they were rich lawyers from DC.
Yeah. So we got the vibe that they just kind of like traveled everywhere.
Which is super cool.
Yeah. It's awesome that they're able to do that.
I thought they were really cool. We were having it's not like I didn't like them. I did like them, you know? They were all right. Everybody on the trip was super friendly with each other, and we were all like, oh, wow, isn't this a vibe? Yeah, this is great. I'm having so much fun in West Virginia.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had some interesting trips, which is really funny because I think we've only had two, this one and that one.
We traveled we did our cross-country road trips. We did the first year we were dating, and then not the following summer, but the one after that.
2021.
Yeah, we did it again with my brothers.
Yeah.
And that was really fun.
Yeah, but I don't know if I count that. Like, they were trips, but it didn't really feel like a vacation.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess you wouldn't count when we stayed at your family's house in Chesapeake and then we did day trips to the Outer Banks.
No, I wouldn't count that.
The Outer Banks is like a vacation, though.
But it's a day trip.
Yeah, but that's just
It's just like, oh, let's go drive by the water.
Yeah, that's just where you grew up.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
that doesn't make it less special.
Okay.
To me, anyway.
I understand that. To you, it doesn't make it less special. I think for me, it's just more normalized. So the idea of going to Outer Banks for the day isn't like a special thing. It's just like, oh, let's do that.
Well, because you're just thinking about it like a beach day.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking about it like. You're just
Yeah.
going to a farther beach.
Yeah.
With more expensive restaurants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what this place is.
Is a beach with restaurants?
With expensive.
With expensive.
More expensive restaurants.
Total of 3 in this resort.
Yeah.
They did have really good coffee.
Yeah, the coffee was good.
And they have hot chocolate and apple cider. And we did a mixology. Yeah. We did a mixology course today.
Yeah, that was fun.
We learned how to make a martini. Not a martini. Well, yes, a martini.
Chocolate
but like
martini.
Chocolate martini.
It was delicious.
And an old fashioned, which was not delicious. And then a margarita, which was delicious.
The chocolate martini was my favorite.
I don't know.
It was the last thing that we made.
Yeah. It was hard for me to tell. Like, I kind of wish we had the old fashioned first and then the margarita and then the martini. Because I feel like going from an old fashioned to the like chocolate was such a big jump.
Okay.
And my taste buds were kind of just traumatized over the old fashioned and the taste of it.
Yeah.
It's just not my vibe, you know?
Yeah. The person who led the mixology course, she asked everybody what their favorite cocktail was. And I was like the first person in line. So I answered first out of the group. And I was like, oh, well, I like margaritas. But then in the summer, I like a gin and tonic. Oh, wow. Look at me. I'm special.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like...
I was like, oh, yeah, no, whiskey sour. Love it. Love a whiskey sour. And they're like, the bartender, what'd she say?
She's like, oh, interesting. I don't usually hear that from people.
Yeah. And I'm like, is that a weird thing? Do people not usually like whiskey sours?
We never found out.
Yeah.
We never asked the bartender that.
Yeah.
Even though, like, she's probably the most relatable person here. Probably.
Yeah, no, definitely. She definitely seemed like it.
Yeah. But like, that's the thing that I don't get. Like I talking to the staff, right? I can understand that they don't know how the bus system works because everybody here probably drives no matter who you are.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it is. So I don't think it's that weird that they don't know how the bus works. What I think is weird is that, like, we obviously... I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not obvious. Like, I feel different from the other guests here. Like, I feel like we...
stand out, sort of?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe we don't. That's the thing. But, like, if we did stand out as, like, oh, these are just regular people, then, like, the staff might know that, and they might know that they can talk to us like regular people, but...
I mean, they definitely know that after our weird asks.
Like, how does the bus work?
How does the bus work? Hey, can we get a fridge to put our food we brought?
Can I have a peanut butter knife?
Them calling us because our Uber Eats is here.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting, but it's so nice. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You can see the ocean from outside of our room.
This is the most relatable episode of Wasted Minutes we've ever recorded. What?
Nothing.
I'm happy.
Okay, it was hard to tell. It seems like you were kind of like just really done.
No, I just wanted to make that joke.
I don't understand it.
You don't understand how it's a joke?
Yeah.
Because this is not a relatable episode.
Okay. I mean, I think anybody can really has felt out of place in some point in their lives.
Yeah, okay.
So you can make it relatable.
Okay.
You just have to think outside the box.
All right.
Kind of like that one time when we were staying at your brother Jason's place and there was this gate and we wanted to go past the gate. But, oh no, the gate's locked. How do we get out?
So then, what do you do when you see this gate? Obviously, I see a stick on the ground. And I'm like, oh, I saw my brother Travis, the one who doesn't live there, do that one time. He's like, you take a stick and you pry it, open the latch or something like that. So I'm getting the stick and I'm trying to pry it open.
And I just walk through it.
Yeah.
Because the holes are big enough. You can walk through.
Yeah, it turns out there is a person-sized hole next to the gate. You know how, like, when you're watching a Scooby-Doo cartoon and somebody runs through a concrete wall and they leave an outline that's the exact shape of themselves? It wasn't like that. It was more like it was more like the other cartoons where they're in prison, but the bars
are really wide.
And they go all the way from the ceiling to the floor.
Yeah.
So that a person could just squeeze out.
Yeah.
It was like that. That's the cartoon we lived in.
There we go. I feel kind of bad. We were talking with some people during the mixology class, and they're like, "Oh, are you gonna eat at the one restaurant that's here?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe."
We haven't thought about it yet.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, I knew the chances of it were very low.
You knew that we weren't gonna eat there.
Well, I knew they were low. Pretty low.
Like almost zero.
Like 99% chance that we weren't gonna eat there.
Yeah.
But I went along with it. And I'm like, oh, maybe, probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if not, I'll meet you at the bar after. And we just didn't go.
I mean, maybe we'll go to the bar after this and see if they're there.
Maybe, yeah. We could go by the fire pit.
I mean, I'd love to go by the fire pit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pour myself another glass of Yellowtail and just walk on over there with it.
It's not bring your own beer. Bring your own drink.
Okay, fine.
That's not what it is.
Well, I'm not going to buy drinks.
You're a sunscreen bottle filled with vodka person.
Yes. Yes, my dad just told us about those today.
I mean, I think I knew about them, but
they're like, if listeners, if you're not familiar, basically on Amazon they sell, it's like a smuggling container that's like a bottle of like banana boat sunscreen or like a bottle of shampoo or something like that, but it's like a screw top that you can put liquor in. And so people use it to sneak stuff onto cruise ships.
See, I knew about those earlier in my life at some point, but I really did think people were just drinking out of them. So I was like, that's not very like nonchalant if someone looks over and you're drinking out of a sunscreen bottle. Like, that's just going to raise questions.
Ma'am, are you drinking Head and Shoulders?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem, ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's who I am. At my core, in my heart, that is the kind of person I am.
My mom always told me I have champagne tastes on a beer budget, and I think that's who I am.
Yeah, probably.
That's literally what this trip is. It's
pretty
a champagne trip with a beer budget.
Right,
because we didn't pay for it.
Except, yeah.
And that's why it's cheap.
Because you won it in a contest.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You are, you're very talented. You exhibited prowess with your skills to win this contest. It's like a elaborate internet scavenger hunt where you had to find a bunch of obscure clues and things like that, like type them in a box, and like that's how it worked for you.
You had to
right?
figure out the URL using clues and like a picture. Like there would be images that would hint to a word, and that word would be like part of the URL, which would take you to the actual clue, or not really clue, but place to do the clue, like put in the answer. And you would have to figure out what it wants you to do, and then figure out what the answer to that is, and then input that. So it was complicated.
Yeah, so it wasn't really... It's not really like the West Virginia trip where it was kind of random that we got it.
Well, I don't think it was random. I think they read what people said.
But it was like there was no skill involved.
True, yes.
To winning the West Virginia. I guess we didn't win it. We got
selected.
No, we got selected for it. That's I would call that winning.
Yeah.
But there was no skill involved with that.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't random, it was still up to chance.
Yeah.
This was... I mean, you would say it's a game of skill, right? Or it was a game of skill.
It was. Yeah, and a lot of people couldn't get past like the second, like Morse code.
How many people you bet like just gave up? They're like, this is really hard.
A lot. I was looking through their Instagram and people were complaining. They're like, this is literally like impossible. Like, where do I put the answer? Like, I can't find a place to put it. And that's like part of the scavenger hunt, is to find the page that you put your answer in, right? So the company is just like, well, the like 10,000 other people participating were able to do it. So
so I'm sure you can.
Yeah, exactly.
When you started doing it, I was like, oh, it's an internet contest. You do those all the time because you do like participate in internet like giveaways. And,
yeah, like you just enter your name and email.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be like that, but then it ended up being a whole thing that lasted like 3 or 4 months, something like that.
Yeah.
It was just pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember because I started it at the lake house.
It was in like July or something like that.
Yeah, and then they waited like a month before doing the next batch of clues.
So then you actually won the prize in, I think it was like October, wasn't it? When they told you won.
Yeah. Well, because it was like a top 3 finalist.
Yeah.
And then what you had to do as a finalist was like solve one last puzzle, which uses all the puzzle pieces. And it was like a cryptic thing. And you had to figure out like a phrase and input the phrase. And then they looked at the timestamps, and the first person who submitted correctly got it.
And I guess that was you.
It was me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Woohoo.
So, I don't know. I like to think I am pretty smart.
I like to think you're smart too.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you don't think I'm an idiot.
No, of course not. No, never.
Never.
No, not here. No, not from me. I found a receipt on the ground at this place that was like, I assume it's like a drink bill or a dinner bill. I hope it was for food. So, maybe not. Maybe it was just drinks. The receipt was for $500.
It was like an obscure number though. It was like $522.36.
Yeah, something like that. You had the idea to make a scrapbook from the trip.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. We'll put in that receipt.
And then Dylan was looking at the free newspaper, and he opens it up to this headline: outspoken about Middle East, one Santa Claus lost his job.
Yeah, so a guy who plays Santa got fired for having a controversial opinion, basically.
Yeah.
So we could clip
and then
out
it has
that.
a picture of him, and
yeah,
he does look like a Santa.
He looks like a Santa.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's wearing flannel and a beanie.
Yeah. We'll link it in the show notes so that you guys can see the article. So we'll cut out that article and put it in there. We'll put the receipt we found on the ground. We'll put
That's it.
the bus brochure that we got from the visitor center. We'll put in, the notepad that they have in the hotel that I wrote some notes on. We'll just put one of those pages in there.
Yeah, our social security numbers.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we won't make a scrapbook now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I could tear off the label from this bottle of wine and put that in there.
It reminds me of when we first saw the newspaper for the coronavirus, and we thought it would be so funny to cut it out.
Yeah.
And
it was in like the Wall Street Journal or something like that.
Yeah, to like cut it out and put it on our fridge. And then like I think after like a month, we're like,
it was longer than that. It was
probably like 6 months.
Yeah.
We're like, this isn't funny anymore.
Because we had just been in lockdown and like the virtual world basically for that whole time. And have just been spending 6 months being depressed basically.
Yeah.
Being like, this isn't funny anymore. I think part of me thought that it would be like, oh, this is a historic newspaper clipping. Oh wow, look, I have history in my on the fridge magnet, and I literally just threw it in the trash.
It probably would have been like that if you kept it.
Nah, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think anybody values that time.
Maybe in 50 years.
Okay, I'll go back to our old apartment in Virginia to fish it out of the trash then.
There we go. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still there.
I mean, you did order extra copies of Time magazine with the Taylor Swift cover.
Yeah, she's person of the year, and people literally like buy her merch and then resell it a month later for like 10 times the price.
There's 3 different covers for her person of the year edition of the magazine, and you bought 2 of each copy, right?
Yes.
1 to keep and 1 to sell.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, essentially. They're actually on their way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll have a magazine.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
We'll have 6 magazines.
Oh boy.
With all the same content.
Oh boy. Yum yum magazines.
Minimalism.
Yep. Good stuff. No, it's fine. You can just shove them under your side of the bed.
I'll put them with the records I have collected that we can't play because we don't have a record player.
There you go. Just stick them in there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This has been great. Thank you for recording a podcast with me, Lauren.
Yeah. Any day, any time, except when I don't want to do it.
Awesome. Great. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Happy holidays. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.